Do this. Hey, when you first start this project, get your gaskets you bought from and verify that they are lined up with the correct left and right vent window frame. Make sure your notches are where they are and use the original to compare. Then take out that divider felt. It's usually down to the metal with no felt remaining. Take it out, take your spinning wire wheel, clean up those grooves good. Get it ready for a new felt, of which you're not going to place in there yet. But it is now time to take out the glass frame to repair that broken glass. File that rivet, that one rivet that it pivots on, the inner frame pivots on the outer frame. There's some filing marks done on that one. Now it is time to take a punch and a hammer and see if that rivet has become loose enough to remove. That's just coming off way too hard, so I'm going to file some more on that rivet because it shouldn't take a beating like that. That rivet should fly right out of there. So it's hanging on, so I'm going to continue to file it. Then I'm going to turn that thing up and get my screwdriver in there and pry it apart, and the rivet came flying out on that one. There's the shoulder rivet. You're going to want to order up some of those. I would say get a couple extra just in case you screw up the installation and have to remove that, because it is quite the technique. Get that heat gun out and heat up that old rubber gasket that is dry, brittle, and cracked. Tear it out of there with a screwdriver. Now time to remove that glass. That'll remove easier when you put some heat on that frame as well. This is in two pieces, so I'm going to start with that front small piece. After I feel like there's enough heat on it to get that setting tape loosened up, we'll put a pick underneath that glass and pull it right out of there using heavy leather gloves. Yeah, it's laminated glass. It's probably 50, 60 years old, and out comes piece number 2. There's a little setting tape in there, but just get your pry pick underneath there and get it moving. Once it's loosened up, pull it back and out it comes. Just removed all the broken glass. Clean up that frame good. There's going to be setting tape and goo in there. You're going to want to get your wire wheel out again on your drill. Clean up those grooves again real well. Clean up your mess. And we'll go to part 2. This vent window had me do an extra step because the stem that comes off the glass frame, the frame that holds the glass, was broken. I don't know if that's just abuse from a driver in the past, but that's the first one I've had that was broken, so it's time to weld that back on there. Take all the tension spring washers and nut off of that stem. This is what actually keeps your wing window from closing as you drive down the road from wind pressure on the glass. It's a spring that holds tension on the glass, and there is a set of washers and friction washers, and they all come off in a specific arrangement. Some are below the frame, some are within the frame. So I'm going to put a yellow punch divider here in a minute to show you the division mark between what goes below the frame and what comes above the frame after I get them all removed. So this is going to be, that was rusted in there. I need that stem so I can weld it back to my glass frame that's sitting on the table. So I just tap it gently and twist it because it's got some flat sides to it that need to match up with some shapes in that frame. So I just keep wrapping it until it comes loose. Then I take the nut back off because I didn't want to screw up the threads while I tap on it with a hammer. I lay that out there, and I'm going to show you the layout of the pieces, because this is where most people will take stuff apart. They're excited to get things apart and get fixed, but then they realize, hey, when it comes time to put this back together, I don't remember which washer comes first. So take lots of pictures with your iPhone, and this is the sequence. The punch indicates what goes above the frame and what goes below the frame, and that of course is the broken off stem that should be attached to the inner glass frame, and I'll re-weld that in just a minute. Okay, so I know I'm not going to be assembling this anytime soon, so I'm going to put all the pieces back on the stem in the order they came off, probably tape it up good and put it in a container marked 53 Chevy vent window. Let's go to the garage and get the 210 MP welder out, which I think is an amazing welder and highly recommend it. We'll make sure that that piece is arranged in the right arrangement. It's got a little lean to it. It's supposed to have a little lean to it. Put a few tack welds around it and it is married once again to the frame how it should be, stronger than new. No need to file a lot of that tack welding off because all that's going to be buried down into a rubber gasket when we put it back together.